In this episode, we talk about the importance of establishing a good work-life balance, both for yourself and for your staff, and how to accomplish both. Hi, I'm Rick Kendall.
And I'm Fred Ball.
Welcome to Management Mastery. The purpose of these podcasts is to share what each of us has learned about good and bad management in our combined over 40 years of experience, both as managers and executive coaches. During that time, we've coached managers at every level in companies from Fortune 100s to brand new startups in all major businesses, including nonprofits, government, and education. So whether you're just starting in your first management position or are an experienced manager looking to strengthen your management skills, we know our podcast will be valuable to you. We've been talking about how to deal with a number of concerns about work that you may have as a manager, but most important is the degree to which you can maintain a balance between the demands of both work and your personal responsibilities. This reduces stress, prevents burnout, and increases productivity. All too often, these are seen as separate, but they are not. The idea that giving to one, work, takes away from the other, family, etc., is wrong. They're synergistic. One does well when the other is doing well, and vice versa. And this goes for both you and your staff. Both work and personal life suffer when the balance is wrong.
We want to take a look at some of the factors in the work balance, and we're going to do this in a compacted way right now. We will spend much more time in future podcasts talking about the work balance, but just a couple of the points that you want to keep in mind. You want to get organized by prioritizing what is most important. If necessary, you want to discuss the priorities with your boss, and you want to be prepared in those discussions to talk with the boss about the most important of the issues that the boss has. For example, if you've got a prioritized list of the things that you need to accomplish and the boss says, I want to add one more, you want to be able to say to the boss, is there one that we can take off of this list? You want to try to set schedule time for different tasks. For example, I will not look at my email at certain times of the day because that's time when I have an opportunity to build relationships with my staff. You also, if possible, want to give yourself time to think about the present and the future. And people do that in different ways. Some people come to work earlier than others, and it gives them some time to not only think, but to prepare for the day. Other people like to do it later on in the afternoon. You want to stick to your schedule so others get used to it, so that they know if there's a certain time of day that they can talk to you, that will work. And time management is so important that we're going to have another podcast about it.
Another aspect of this is just your emotional well-being. It's important to plan ahead to combine work activities with leisure, social, and fitness activities. You know, if everything is ad hoc, then the important things are going to fall by the wayside if you're not careful. So don't schedule meetings before or after work hours, and have things that involve you, that interest you outside of work, like being involved in some of your kids' activities, having an ongoing hobby or a sport that you regularly participate in. But the important thing is to keep your priorities straight. In a conflict and in the long run, family comes first. You've got to remember that. You'll never forget the important family events you missed because of work, but you'll also never remember the work reason you missed it. I worked with a guy who got married right at the beginning of a very busy season in his business, And he and his wife did not take a honeymoon because of that. Years later, he was telling me that he never forgave himself for that. He couldn't remember what it was that was so important that they couldn't have their honeymoon. And more significantly, his wife never forgave him for it either. So put your family first.
I have a situation that I had. I had a friend where he was a very respected manager in a retail company, but he was also very involved in his children's activities, in particular a son. And he went in on a Wednesday and said to his boss, my son is in the state finals on Friday, and I absolutely need to be there to see that game. The boss said to him, look, you are so highly valued here that I really can't approve for you to be gone because we absolutely need you. That was on a Wednesday. On Thursday, my friend told me I went in and I said to my boss, I'm sorry, I quit. And the boss could absolutely not believe him. But that's one of those situations where when you are the manager, you got to make sure that you make the right decisions as far as your people are concerned.
The other thing is that there is a lot of research that shows that beyond a certain number of hours, employees don't produce more, but the impact on their health increases dramatically with burnout, fatigue, stress, that sort of thing. So it's important, as both for yourself and as a boss of others, to make sure that your staff is not overdoing it, that they are keeping reasonable hours, and that they take their vacations. And if they're not, it's important to you to talk to them and say, look, you may be doing something wrong here. I don't want you here 12 hours a day. It's not part of the job. And work with them to figure out how to make the demands on them, the work demands, reasonable.
I had a client who, speaking about that vacation, I had a client who was hard driving. Sometimes his people recognized the stress that he was under, but it was almost a badge of courage with him that he did not take vacation time. When I asked him about how much he got and how much he took, he said, I haven't taken a vacation in 2 years. And he said, and I hear about it at home. And I said to him, well, I have a question for you. Because you don't take your vacation, does the CEO of your company come by every once in a while and thank you for not taking vacation? Well, even he had to laugh at that and said, no, it hasn't happened yet. And all the times that I have asked the people that we have been coaching that question, never once have I ever heard that the senior manager came and thanked them for not taking vacation.
No, it's absolutely true. And, companies have vacation time because they understand, the smart companies understand that it's important to keep their people productive. So it's all about maintaining productivity over the long term. It's not a gift. It's important.
The other thing you want to keep in mind is your own physical well-being. And people do this in various ways, but you want to keep to a regular schedule that your body can adjust to. You want to make sure that you get enough sleep, that you eat well. You have regular checkups with your doctors. I can't tell you the number of people that we have coached where they say, I just don't have time to get for my yearly physical or the chance to do this or that. And it's really important that you schedule yourself so you do get the time. Sleep, we mentioned, but sleep is really critically important. And then as physical exercise is concerned, aerobic exercise and weight training are particularly valuable. Some people will say, look, I did so much of it in one shot, but that's not the better way to do it. The better way to do it is to do multiple times a week. The other thing that you want to do is you want to take your gym clothes with you if you go on business trips and use them. almost every hotel has a fitness center these days.
Yeah, and I've done it both ways. It makes all the difference in the world if you can just do half an hour before your meetings, before your conferences, etc. It is important. In this episode, we stress the importance of maintaining a good work-life balance, both for yourself and for your staff. We've discussed ways to achieve this by setting priorities, setting a predictable schedule for yourself, and setting aside time to plan ahead and set priorities. It's important that you maintain an emotional well-being by having interests outside of work, and also the importance of always keeping your family first. Make sure that your staff also keeps a balance. We talked about the importance of both you and your staff taking your vacation time, that this improves productivity, and the importance of your physical well-being, including getting enough sleep, having a good diet, and regular checkups, as well as regular exercise. We hope you have found this podcast useful and will come back again for more management mastery. If you have any comments about this or any of our episodes, or would like to find out more about our other services, including one-on-one coaching and group seminars for managers, visit our website at careercoachclass.com. Thanks for listening.